Section 7.5 is going to talk about all the parts of a similar triangle. These are the parts that we learned earlier in the year. They are altitude, angle bisector, median, and perpendicular bisector. This should all be review. We have gone through an entire unit talking just about these. So in altitude, what you got to remember, altitude comes from a vertex, either one of the vertices, and goes to a right angle. So the altitude in this triangle is DE. An angle bisector splits an angle in half, like this mark right here, so CF. A median connects the vertex to the midpoint, and that's why these two marks are here, so AB. And a perpendicular bisector is the only one that doesn't have to go through a vertex. It can, but it doesn't have to. It has to make a right angle and split a segment into two parts, and that's GB. So each one of these segments, altitude, median, and angle bisectors, are all proportional, because if this triangle is similar to this triangle, I also know, because of what forms from an altitude or an angle bisector or a median, that these triangles are now similar as well, like left side and left side, right side and right side, for all three of those shapes. So altitudes, angle bisectors, and medians are all line segments that can be proportional, just like the triangles that they're in. So let's look at example 1. My goal is to find x. Okay, I have an angle bisector here, and I know that ABC is similar to XYZ. And these are angle bisectors, so I'm going to take 24 and compare it to x, because those are the two sides of the original triangle, and that's proportional to a fraction using the two angle bisectors. So cross multiply, you get 192 equals 10x, so x equals 19.2. Example 2, we know that the two triangles ABC and MNP are similar. AB is 24, AD, which is an altitude, is 14, and MQ, which is also an altitude, is 10.5. My goal is to find MN. So I'm going to set up a ratio of the two altitudes. I'm going to set that equal to this ratio of the two sides. When I do that, I multiply 10.5 by 24. I get 252 equals 14x. Then I'm going to divide that by 14, and I get x is 18. And 18 is also MN. Example 3. The segment I'm given this time is a median. Find the value of x. For the medians, I'm going to take the side from this triangle, proportional to the side from this triangle, is equal to the median from the left triangle over the median from the right triangle. 18x equals 150. Take 150, divide by 18. And you get 8.3 repeating. It says round to the nearest tenth, so just 8.3. Example 4 now. The triangles below are similar. We have another altitude being drawn. BC is 16 minus x. BD, the altitude is 7. QR is 9. QS is x. So I'm going to set up a proportion. Side over side equals altitude over altitude. When I cross multiply, 63 equals, and I'm going to distribute as I go, 16x minus x squared. Now this problem is a lot more difficult because I have an x squared, so I'm going to have to get everything over to one side of the equation and factor. I'm going to move everything to the left side of the equation so that way x squared becomes positive. So I add x squared, I subtract the 16x, and I leave the 63 and have it equal to 0. Now I'm going to factor. A lot of you have seen AM method. AM method means I need two numbers that add to negative 16 that multiply to 63. And when I go through this and I find those two numbers, I get 9 and 7, x minus 9, x minus 7. Negative 9 and negative 7 add up to negative 16, and when I multiply them, they multiply to positive 63. So I get two solutions. X is 9 and x is 7. Let's get rid of that equal sign in the middle. X is 9 or x is 7.